It's time to determine our champions in the NASCAR Euro Series across both the Pro and the Open divisions, and what better place to do it than in Belgium at Circuit Zolder, in front of the faithful fans who've always enjoyed the action here in the NASCAR Euro Series. 2 races to come on Saturday, 1 for each division, and this circuit has a track record of offering up thrills every time.
For more than a decade, the sacred lands of Zolder have been hosting the pinnacle of NASCAR in Europe. Legends have risen. Heroes have fallen. Friends and foes meet here again. But only one driver can raise the trophy. There can be only one NASCAR Euro Series champion.
The man who wants to defend his title, Vittorio Garelli, will be starting the first pro race of the weekend from pole position. This could be a race where he streaks forward in the championship. As you can see, the fans getting to interact with the drivers on the grid walk as always, and a very busy grid walk here at Zolder. It's Garelli and his fellow championship rival Paul Giuffreau on the first row. Further back, row 4 of the grid, P8, only for Gianmarco Ercoli, the other main contender in the championship. He's got a lot of work to do. We're underway and racing for the first time at Zolder this weekend. Garelli's got a good start. Oh, and Mulders gets loose further back. He immediately collects Paul Giuffreau. I think Mulders was helped into that sideways moment by Thomas Toffel. Garrett Lowe has got caught up in that as well. And Paul Giuffreau's car clearly has damage. The way that car was weaving around as it came back onto the tarmac, I think he has suspension issues. We ride on board with Thomas Toffel, and it was a big hit to the rear of Bruno Mulders, and that gave Bruno no shot of slowing down for the corner. He was completely out of control through no fault of his own. And Paul Giuffreau, the bystander in all of that, came into this weekend as a potential contender to the crown. It was really him and Gianmarco Ercoli who could challenge Vittorio Garelli. And with Giuffreau pulled up trackside, one competitor's title bid is all but over. Back to racing conditions then. And look at Ercoli, he's managed to get himself up to second place. He went from 8th to 3rd before the full course yellow went out. And now he's up to P2. This could be good for Ercoli. He came in, though, as the 3rd best in the standings, P3 in the standings. And so he really needs to defeat Vittorio Garelli in this race to have any hope of a really strong bid on Sunday for the title. For Vittorio Garelli, with Giuffreau now trackside and watching on from the spectator banks, this is a good scenario, albeit with Ercoli that far forward, maybe not exactly what he'd like. We saw there Thomas Toffel pulled up. He's, I think, also going to receive some reprimands there for that contact into the first corner. But either way, his car no longer able to continue driving. So Garelli leading, Ercoli second. Hazeman's in third, then Julian Reberg all the way up in fourth place. We've got a few drivers a little bit further up the order than we maybe would expect. A few drivers who simply survived those opening laps, and it's paying dividends for them. Gianmarco Ercoli is falling a little bit away from the rear of Garelli, and that's not good news. He's under pressure from Hazeman's, and the last thing he needs to be doing is looking excessively in his mirrors. He wants to be focusing forward and trying to challenge Garelli, who was 8/10 clear in qualifying. If that race pace is anything like as dominant, everyone else is in trouble. Look at Hazeman's with a big lunge into the chicane. I was just saying Ercoli needs to not be driving through the mirrors. He needs to try and focus forward, but I don't think he's got the pace in the car. The Cal Racing prepared Lumitec Mustang just doesn't look like it's hooked up underneath him right now. And he's demoted to third place by Hazeman's. He's now under pressure from Reberg, who in turn has Thomas Chrysonis right on his bumper. Certainly, it is an interesting scrap here behind Vittorio Garelli. And Reberg again running really well in this race. This is a great sign for the promotion team, the number 77 crew, who actually had some mechanical issues on Friday. But here comes Thomas Chrysonis looking to the inside line. Oh, and a little bit of contact between the two of them, sending Reberg straight across the chicane. He gained the slightest advantage from that. Be careful not to gain too much of an advantage, otherwise, of course, race control will have something to say. Sebastian Blakemolen there just behind Thomas Chrysonis as well, looking to try and lodge a top 5 finish in the championship, which would be a great effort for him. Chrysonis, of course, a lot of his focus this weekend on the Open Division, where he's comfortably leading the championship standings, but he has not sealed up that title yet by any means. Scent of speed as they hug right up against the wall on the approach to the first corner here at Zolder. Lots of braking zones here at this circuit where you can't afford to be a fraction too late on the brakes. You will end up in a gravel trap. Ercoli falling off the back of Hazeman's just ahead of this battle between Reberg and Chrysonis, which is really bad news for the driver, who will move up to second in the points with Paul Giffreau retired. He's going to be ruining the fact that he just hasn't got the ability to challenge for a victory today. Chrysonis, of course, PK Carsport teammate, along with Vittorio Garelli, the Belgian team, on home turf this weekend. And with both of their drivers leading their respective championships, this is a great opportunity for the entire team. Of course, Anthony Kumpen, kingpin of that team, has won championships here in the NASCAR Euro Series before. Here comes Chrysonis to the inside line of Reberg at the first corner, and I think Julian deciding to let that one go. Also a very dirty outside line there at turn 1, which won't have helped his efforts. And Chrysonis drifting around the outside, very nicely done to move up into P4. He's worked hard at that for several laps, and now Sebastian Blakemolen wants to take advantage as well. Blakemolen in the Toyota Camry bodied car. Of course, all of the cars in this NASCAR Euro Series are identical in terms of the chassis, in terms of the engine. The bodywork is cosmetic rather than an indicator of anything going on differently mechanically. Here's an interesting scrap. 10th position, and Vladimir Osiortsis is fighting with young Chase Fernandez, the teenage sensation from the UK, who was a race winner in British Formula 4 this year. Previously a graduate of Ginetta Juniors, the youngest ever scholarship winner in Ginetta Juniors. So he knows a bit about wheel-to-wheel fender racing, but this is quite unlike anything he's ever done, with a big V8 under his right foot. Jack Davidson gets past Siortsis there, so that moves him up to 11th place. But Chase Fernandez is doing a great job of making that car wide to try and hold on to what would be a top 10 finish in his first ever start in Euro NASCAR, but his first ever start in any kind of stock car race. Siortsis there having to defend from Martin Dubek and the returning Ryan Vargas, the American racer back with us in the NASCAR Euro Series. You see the black and white number 48 there, just behind the number 7. Marco Stipp Motorsport's entry. Ryan Vargas is going to go monster truck racing in just a few days' time in El Toro Loco in Monster Jam. But Vittorio Garelli has had a monster race. He crosses the line to win comfortably and extend his championship lead. A hugely important win for the Italian. His points lead has extended.
Vittorio, you made it to victory lane. Giuffreau was involved in an accident. Thomas Toffel got penalized for that. Gianmarco Ercoli hold on to 3rd position. I know it's early and something drivers don't want to hear, but you're at least in sight of the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, we did a fantastic job. The 24 was flying thanks to my team. You know, they gave me really a GT3. Like, there's so much grip. I could attack every corner, and yeah, after I built a good gap in the start and I was managing the tires a bit for tomorrow, the battle is still long. Everything can happen. We just have to stay focused. And yeah, we were the fastest last part of the season, so we deserved this win. We worked a lot and we came back. So very happy. Big thanks to my sponsors, my family who is here. And yeah, let's get it done tomorrow.
Well, just cause for celebration for Vittorio Garelli. A big championship lead now going into Sunday. The entire PK Car Sport team will be delighted. Liam Hasemans wins the Junior Trophy classification. Challenger Trophy goes to David Kajaya, making a late run for the title. Let's focus in now on the Open division, where it's a very different story. Thomas Chrysonis with a big lead in the title fight. However, it's another Thomas on pole position.
I'm here with Thomas Toffel. Track record in qualifying, also in Open. This would have also been a good lap time in Pro, we already saw. What an amazing lap. How do you feel?
I feel really good, yeah. I know that it was more fresh this morning, so more time to warm the tire. So I think we had the good pace for since the beginning of the weekend, and we find a little thing this morning which helped me. And I was not perfect during the Pro, and I can put all together to do this good lap during the Open quali.
Of course, you're now having the Stormwatches.com Pole Award, but there are 2 races coming up in Open. What are your plans there?
No plans. No plans, because I am not in the battle for the championship. So, yeah, the plan is clear: is to win the races.
Well, in the Open division, Thomas Chrysonis, the man with a lot of eyes paying attention to what he can do. He can't quite wrap up the title today, we don't think, but he can certainly give himself a near unassailable lead. It will be Thomas Toffel, who we just heard from, though, on pole position for this race. It will be 15 laps around Zolder. Chrysonis alongside Toffel, Mulders and Dombrowski row 2. The defending champion Martin Dubek will need a good race from the 3rd row. We're underway, we're racing in Zolder in the Open division. A lock-up further back in the field, and Thomas Toffel struggling, spinning into the gravel. Oh, Thomas Toffel came in with a good amount of confidence, but just asked too much of cold tyres there on that shallow run to the first corner. Obviously wasn't able to use all of the track with Chrysonis alongside him. And Toffel is going to have to work from the very rear of the field. But for Thomas Chrysonis, this is perfect. He leads the way. He's got Bruno Mulders behind him, which certainly isn't an easy driver to defend from. So he's going to have that in the back of his mind. But for Chrysonis, leading the race is about as good as it gets, especially with his closest title rival, Martin Dubek, further back in the pack. Dubek, to have any hope of winning the championship on Sunday, he kind of needs to win today. At the very least, he needs to strongly outscore Thomas Chrysonis today. Thomas Teufel will be a very frustrated man, though, in the THT by Race Art Technology team. Entry, the number 34 car. It's a purple haze on the livery, but there's going to be a red haze in that helmet. Through the Jackie Ickx box they go. Conclude the first lap of the race, and Chrysonis being shadowed by young Bruno Mulders. Of course, Mulders from the Netherlands. Strictly doesn't have a home round of the series this year, but this is his closest event to home. And still in his rookie season, of course, he has impressed so many. Andres Beers there running wide in the back of shot as we focus in on Martin Dubeck. Chasing Sandro Tabat-Kalatsa. Jill Linster just ahead of them in 4th place. This battle for P5. The Team Georgia entry now being prepared once again by Marco Stipp Motorsport, as was the case at Valencia earlier this year. It's looking strong, but look at Dubeck. He's strong on the brakes, gets to the inside of Tabat-Kalatsa. Pretty standard Zolder move there from Dubeck. Just got a great run out of turn 4. He's trying to hunt his way up to the podium. He can get himself to the rear of Chrysonis and fight, he will, but it's going to be a long, long stretch from here. Linster in the Retty Jones racing car just ahead. How he'd love to get a race victory. Dubeck bouncing on the limiter there. I hope that was the top of 4th gear, otherwise he's going to run out of straight line speed on this long run down the main straight. He's got a very good run out of the corner. Is he going to try and go all the way around the outside of Linster? Certainly it was a great run. He's going to have a nose ahead. In fact, he's going to have the whole car ahead by the time he gets to the first corner. That Hendricks Motorsport car looks hooked up. He didn't quite have the 1 lap pace in quali. I don't know whether they've found a little bit of something extra for the race or whether the car was always just set up to be stronger across longer distances, maybe on older tyres. But either way, in race conditions, Dubeck is having a great time out there. That moves him up to 4th position. His next target is Thomas Dombrowski. Of course, PK Carsport teammate to Chrysonis. He might make that car extra wide as Tabat-Kalatsa moves up to the inside of Jill Linster for 5th position. The Georgian racer gets past a competitor from Luxembourg. Chrysonis and Mulders, meanwhile, have certainly broken away from Dombrowski. Bruno Mulders is always one to watch, and Thomas Teufel has had another off-track moment. Yellow flags out, full course yellow, releasing back into green flags, so no safety car period, which I think Thomas Chrysonis will be thankful for, but it has almost kind of worked out like a safety car because look how close the top 5 are together now. That top 5 has to be covered by, what, 2.5, 3 seconds as they come across the line? For Martin Dubeck, there's certainly a shot at a podium, but again, he's really going to need Thomas Chrysonis to fall back towards him and finish ahead of that number 13 car. The 35-point championship lead coming into today's race for Chrysonis, and that is a hefty, hefty marker for anyone to claw back. Even someone with as much experience in this series as Martin Dubeck, who's unsure quite what he's going to do next year. He'd like to double up and do the Pro and the Open, as he has done in recent years. But he may also end up only doing Pro. Part of it is down to whether he can still be classified as a Grade B driver, whether he's still considered at an Open level or whether he should be in Pro. Dombrowski making that car very wide, but he does leave the inside open there for Dubeck. Clean racing between the pair of them, even though it would perhaps benefit his teammate Chrysonis to try extra hard to hold Dubeck back. I think Dombrowski realising that's not his fight. Of course, Dombrowski will be hoping to try and win the Master Trophy accolade in the entire season as well. He's currently running 2nd in that class behind Bruno Mulders. Melvin de Groot and Claudio Remeggio Capelli Twitter would call this the Battle of the Unks. Two of our older statesmen in this grid. Legend Trophy competitors, both of them fighting for the Legend Trophy Championship as well, and Claudio Reggio Capelli could certainly do with finishing ahead of Melvin Groot as it pertains to the Legend Trophy point standings. This is for the win in that class as well. Melvin Groot, of course, an overall race winner this year as well, at one time an overall championship leader. He's had a great season, his best season to date in the NASCAR Euro Series. Didn't quite have that pre-summer break form at Most or at Oschersleben. He's still on course right now to win in the Legend Trophy. But Capelli is going to make it hard work. Filling those mirrors with the yellow number 5 Alex Cathy Academy Motorsport team machine. Meanwhile, Bruno Mulders has fallen off the back of Chrysonis and is now under fire from Martin Dubek. Dubek, who's had searing pace all race long. Look at that again. Hugely confident on the brakes into the first chicane, and he gets the move done. That's his favourite hunting spot this weekend, seemingly. And on the very last lap of the race, Dubek has got that done for second, but it will be Chrysonis who puts his championship lead to a near impenetrable state with a race win. What a drive from Chrysonis. He's not quite done it, but he only needs to take the start tomorrow now to be champion. Another win for Chrysonis.
I know, I said it already to Vittorio earlier today. I know that drivers don't want to hear about it, but the trophy's in sight, right?
Well, for sure, yeah. Yeah, that was what we needed today. So basically, from what I understand, tomorrow we just need to finish one lap to get classified for the points, and that's it. But I don't want to say a lot of things. I just want to say that it's been a very big effort. So without the help of my sponsors, Costa Mara and Dodoni, that wouldn't be possible. Without the help of my trainer, Paul Tibas, and my driving coach, Alon Day, and my amazing team, friends and family, all this combined effort would not be able, without them to bring the same result. So yeah, I want to party, I want to, to have fun, but let's finish tomorrow morning with the race. And yeah, tomorrow we have laughs, we will drink, it will be a different day. But we have one more, so calm, and that's it, yeah.
But can you tell me something about the race? Because it was not an easy win. Bruno put a lot of pressure on you.
I told you, Bruno, from the beginning, he will be a problem in the next years. He's getting up to pace extremely fast. So tomorrow, I mean, the day after, today, we will have to, and in the next season, take him into account for sure, especially if he does the pro. I think if he's more consistent, he will be a contender as well. So, yeah, congratulations to him. Very nice to see new blood being this good. So yeah, for sure will be a great contender in the future. By far one of the best prospects.
Amazing battle for first place, but something was missing to get the win here today.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of pace compared to Thomas. He was just a tiny bit faster. I mean, half of the race we were basically even at the end. I started sliding a bit in the rear, but no, it was very a good fight as well.
What happened to in the battle with Dubek at the end?
Yeah, I had a mistake with shifting and I lost the rear, so then he was able to get past. He made quite a move, I have to say that.
Martin, in the end, maximized the outcome. It wasn't enough to beat Thomas Chrysonis, but I think you did the maximum you can, right?
Yeah, I did the maximum. There was a terrible start because Jill did stupid move there and I was almost out. But yeah, I was staying on the track, and then from P6 or P7 I did my maximum. And yeah, in the last lap I overtook Bruno. Good, so we are back on the podium. I already spoke with Thomas. I think he's already champion, no?
We have to check.
I think, so I'm happy for him. But next year I want the title, for sure.
I think that was the confirmation for next year. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Back to you, Adam.
Well, drivers already getting ready for 2026. I think Bruno Mulders will be happy with his race. Martin Dubek looking ahead to the future then. Melvin de Groot winning out in the Legend Trophy classification, and Happinessa winning in Lady Trophy. But the biggest celebration of all goes to Thomas Chrysonis, who knows he is just millimetres away from being champion in the 2025 NASCAR Euro Series Open Division. Both champions will be crowned on Sunday in Zolder in the NASCAR Euro Series.